Arrays have a property called length, and all you have to do is grab the name of your array and put a dot length, and what it'll give you is the length of your array. So for example, I have two arrays here. This first one is an integer array called numarray, and we are allocating 6 slots in memory for this array. So this array is of size 6. We just haven't put anything in it yet, but the memory is allocated for this array. And now we have this second string type array called turkey recipe, and we're just setting all the values at the very beginning. So we're gonna have bread, turkey, tomato, and lettuce. There are 4 values, so the length of this array is actually 4. Then we're gonna go ahead and input a 2 into the second slot of our num array. Remember, we index starting at 0, so 0, 1. 1 is the second slot, and we're gonna put in the value of 2. So at this point, num array only has one spot filled in the array, but the length of the array is still 6. We still allotted 6 spots. So what you'll see is when we print out length of num array plus num array dot length, this is how you get it. All you have to do is write dot length. This will give you a 6. And then for the second one, we will get a 4. So even though we only have one thing set in num array, the length will still be 6 because that spot is still allotted in our memory. Now, you might think it's kind of weird to use this dot length since we know it's size 6 and we know it's size 4 because we set these arrays, but you'll see later in future videos when we learn about methods and we pass in parameters and whatnot, you'll see that sometimes we might not actually know what the size of the array was in our code because it's coming from elsewhere. So it's always good practice to use this dot length instead of just writing the number 6 here, just because there might be times where you might not know from wherever you are in the code how big your array really was. Now, if we wanted to get the average grade of a student, we know we have to add all the grades that they have and divide it by the number of grades that they had. So for example, if we had this double array called grades and we made it, we saved 4 spots because they only have 4 grades, and we set the first spot to be 90, the second spot to be 95, third 95 again, and fourth spot 82. Then if we wanted to get the average of all these numbers, we would just access the first, second, third, and fourth of our grades. So remember, if we say grade 0, what it's gonna do is get whatever is in that 0 index spot in our array, which in this case is 90. So what this is really saying is add 90 plus 95 plus 95 plus 82. And then we're gonna go ahead and divide it by grades.length. We know grades.length is gonna be 4 here. So we're just gonna add these 4 numbers and divide it by 4. And that is how we can get our average.